Hey everyone, I am Tammy Mack and welcome to my channel where I interview Canadian entrepreneurs and share information on Canadian made things. Tonight I had such fun and honor interviewing a local business owner here in Hinton, Alberta, a little quaint clothing store, very warm and welcoming, Cold Creek Clothing. Everyone please help me welcome Devlin. Okay, here we go. So
Awesome.
Devlin, thanks so much for joining. I am super pumped about this, more so because you're local here in Hinton where I live. So your store is Cold Creek Clothing. But before we dive into your business, tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you're from. And if I remember correctly, I don't believe you've always been an entrepreneur.
I have not.
So if you could
Um,
tell us a little bit about yourself and
yeah, you bet. So I am Devlin, owner of Cold Creek Clothing. I am a husband, a father, a business owner, an outdoor enthusiast, and I am a full-time student of life. Uh, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. That sounds kind of corny, but I love to learn. And I think that's kind of what led me into business was initially my entire career for the last 20 years prior to opening the store was as a banker. And I just felt like as a small town banker, I had kind of ran the gamut of what I could possibly do in all of the roles that I held. And I was not interested in going to the city to be corporate. So um, I just looked at some other opportunities and I'm sure we'll get into that. Um, but yeah, I love to learn. Um, I'm originally from Verdun, Manitoba, which is a small town, approximately 3,000 people, kind of close to the North Dakota, Saskatchewan border, kind of down in the bottom corner of Manitoba. Grew up on a sheep farm. At one point, I think we had one of the largest sheep farms in Manitoba, which was pretty exciting, pretty fun. It's a great place to grow up with cute little lambs around and shearing sheep. That was always fun.
yeah.
Um, yeah, we ended up moving to Hinton. Oh boy, 17 years ago, which seems like a really long time ago because it doesn't feel like it's been 17 years. And we absolutely love it here. We love the trees, the mountains, the location, the people. Everything about Hinton is absolutely amazing. So a little plug for Hinton.
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
Being a lifelong learner is not corny at all because I feel like the people who are in that realm, that's how you evolve, that's how you grow. And I think that's
absolutely.
great. Yeah, that's awesome. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, and the people who move to Hinton and stay in Hinton, it's purely because of the lifestyle. And there are so many great people here. So that's awesome. I'm glad you stuck around because now you have a beautiful story here. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. So how does living in Hinton influence you, whether it's your personal life or your business? How does that influence you?
Oh wow. So like I said, I grew up on a farm in Manitoba. So, when we moved to Hinton, we had three small boys. The oldest was 5, and I was pretty scared of the bush. And the kids getting lost in the forest, that used to be a big threat when we were a kid. Don't go in the trees, you'll get lost in the forest. We
Mm-hmm.
didn't really have a forest, and now we live in the forest. So we joined a program, the Hinton Junior Forest Wardens, and it absolutely changed our lives.
Great program.
Um, we became outdoor people and we thrive being outside now. We love to, as a family and with our friends, our entire friend group, we love to hike and canoe and kayak. We cross country ski, we downhill ski, we do all the backcountry sports. We love backcountry hiking. Um, so living in Hinton has given us that opportunity. It kind of springboarded, I don't know what the right word is, our lives into a really, really healthy, full lifestyle that Hinton has to offer.
And could you imagine had you listened to that little voice in your head saying, "Don't go in the forest, it's scary, maybe
Oh,
lost."
man,
Like
my
how
biggest fear was bears. And, it just takes a little education about your fears to learn that, yeah, bears are bad and bears are scary, but you can still be in the bush, even though there's bears there. It's okay.
yeah, absolutely. And there's just something to be said about spending your time outdoors and just you're connecting and you don't even realize you're connecting, because our heart energy is the same wavelength as nature, and it's needed. Like it's
Absolutely.
to be said
Yeah.
about it, for sure.
That's my recharge. When I need a recharge, I hit the trails, I hit the water, I get out and do something either with somebody or by myself. It doesn't matter. I just need that recharge.
Oh,
And I know when it hits that I got to go.
yeah, I get it for sure. So
Yeah.
how did your business, Cold Creek Clothing, transpire from an idea to where it is today? Now I'm excited
Oh,
about the business side of things.
well, like I said, I was a lifelong banker, and I was at the end of my career, I was in the role as a business banker. So I worked primarily with businesses and did financing for them and helped them with their running their businesses. And there was a huge gap in what Hinton was offering in the community as far as shopping. And I had this urge that I needed to do something. I had always known that I would own a business at some point. I just didn't know what it would be. I kind of thought it would be in the food industry. But there was this gap of nowhere for me to shop. I was a business banker. I dressed nice. There's not a lot of um, businessmen, I guess, in Hinton that dress the way businessmen in the city do. And I was kind of a cross between what a small town and a city person might like for clothing. And there was nothing here. So I looked into opening a men's store, which really wasn't feasible. So in order to make that work, I decided to go with a men's and ladies store, and just kind of went from there. And it moved really quickly because a building became available and the location was amazing. And we just jumped into it. And here we are. And it's 5 years later. And, even with the times that we're in, I feel like with all the struggles that are out there right now, I feel like we're thriving because we are moving in a positive direction.
Yeah, and I feel like I know we don't want to dive into that section, but I just feel like there's so much more camaraderie and support and just some compassion out there amongst locals. Like
Absolutely.
people are like, shop local, support local. And that's a big reason why I started this channel, because I feel like there's so much to be said about supporting our own, and maybe not enough publicity or not enough knowledge out there. So I think that's great. Good for you. 5 years. That's phenomenal. I can't believe how fast that went.
Oh, me either.
Yeah, for sure. So with what inspires your creativity?
Well, I don't know if you follow us on Facebook or Instagram. I think we're pretty creative around here. We like to have a lot of fun. And I think the creativity comes from collaboration and just having some really, really crazy, stupid ideas that you just don't discount because, yeah, they're crazy and stupid, but they're kind of fun. And how do we work that into a really fun idea? I think that's all it is. It's just having fun and being silly and being okay with that. And yeah, I'm sure people don't follow us because we're not a professional store and we're not super stuffy. And I don't know, we like to have fun. And I think that resonates with our followers. I think they enjoy that because we are just a little bit different.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a stupid idea, because I think crazy stupid ideas are the best ideas a person could ever have. And
Absolutely.
I feel like, yeah, I feel like that just creates character. And, I've never, like, if you were to compare going into two different stores that way, like, it just feels more comfortable. I think
Right.
it's great. I think it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the ideas that have come out of just having crazy conversations are the personas that we have around here. We have Lanny the leprechaun that shows up for St. Patrick's Day, and we have a scary Easter bunny that shows up for Easter, and we have Where's Waldo that makes appearances every now and then through our social media marketing. And there's just a lot of Cupids even showed up, and really, really creepy Cupid, but fun. And it entertains people, and it's enjoyable.
Well, and you got to have fun while you're doing it, right? Because otherwise,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's awesome. So here's a big question. How has becoming an entrepreneur from being a business banker changed you?
Well, as crazy as it seems, I think it's calmed me down. Like being an entrepreneur is super stressful. But I was coming from a high stress situation anyways, working in the bank. But that was other people's stress was what I was dealing with. You have your customers and you're dealing with their stress, and you have your employer and you're dealing with their stress, and your coworkers. And owning your own business, it's different because there's still a lot of stress, but it's all my stress. And once I realized that there were no rules that I had to follow, that I could make whatever rules I wanted to for my business, it was just like a weight off your shoulders, and I could just do my own thing. And now it's my stress. So if it's bad stress, get rid of it. Change the rule, change what you're doing. Just don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the idea of being your own boss, is you get to make your own stuff up.
That must have been quite the shift to go from, you're kind of in between, right? Like you have your clients and your customers, and then you've got the upper people that you have to mitigate between, going to, oh my God, I don't have to answer to anybody. Like that must have been quite the shift for you, and taking some time to just realize, no, I'm it. That's it.
Do you know what? There's a very specific moment that I realized, and it was on Boxing Day, the first year we opened. So we opened in October. So it was a very short timeline. And I had a customer come in with a return on Boxing Day. And we had a policy that we don't do returns for the week of Boxing Week. And she came in and she was mad because we wouldn't do a return. We had no customers in the store. There was nobody here. And here we are trying to follow this policy that we've made up, because that's what everybody else does.
Mm-hmm.
That's what all the big box stores do in the city. And it made sense when we put it in place, but why could we not do a return? Like what? Sorry, you have to come back next week. That it just doesn't make sense. And so that was a real eye opener that, as a small business owner, I want to run a business that makes sense and that's customer friendly and that is easy to deal with, that we don't have rules against things that are common sense and that are good customer service. It just doesn't make sense. And that was a real eye opener for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have that customer today. Had I turned her away, she never would have come back.
Yeah.
She probably would have kept the peace and I would have had a great sale, but she never would have come back. And I would have lost all of those sales over the last 5 years from making one stupid corporate decision.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a mental shift, but now you have all these rules and you can bend them whichever direction you want. Like you could get rid of them. Like that's awesome. Good. Yeah. That's definitely an aha moment, Tate, for sure.
Oh, yeah, very much.
Yeah. So what do you enjoy most about being an entrepreneur? I know you've kind of touched on being your own boss and having that flexibility, but is there anything else that you would say?
I think the flexibility and the creativity, like there's nobody stifling you from what you can do. So you want to be crazy creative and run around town dressed up as Cupid giving out Valentines, you can do that and nobody can tell you no. It's just, so I like the flexibility of being able to do whatever we want and to be as creative as we want. And it's, like I said before, it's a real collaboration with the people that I work with, the team that I have. It's just a lot of fun. Yeah.
So on the flip side, what would be your least favorite part about being an entrepreneur? If you have
yeah, I think the whole uncertainty of tomorrow, which also lights a fire under your butt, but that's probably the worst part about being an entrepreneur, is you don't really know where that next paycheck's coming from. You have to work to find it. And that's hard. It's a hard work. It's hard mentally. Whereas when you're an employee, you work hard, you are still working, you're still doing what you need to do, but you also know that there's a paycheck tomorrow, there's a paycheck next month. So I think that's probably the hardest part.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just that uncertain piece.
Yeah, for sure. So what's one thing that you know now that you wished you would have known at the beginning?
Oh, I think I already touched on that. Just the fact that, there's no rules.
Yep.
And I think that was a really big piece for me. And I wish I had started figuring that out earlier. And also that there's a whole community of retailers and business owners out there, not just in Hinton, but in the world. It would have been nice to know that ahead of time, that I could have done some research ahead of time through reaching out to these groups. There's a lot of Facebook groups out there specific to just about any business out there. And so I'm part of a few of those Facebook groups where it's a closed group. It's just for, like, I'm just in one that's specific to retail clothing, and it's in Canada and the US. So I'm not dealing with my competitors. You can talk freely about ideas and not worry about somebody down the street benefiting from that or screwing you over or anything like that. You can speak freely. You can ask lots of really great questions. And I wish that I had had access to that sooner than I did, because that was also a real good turning point for me.
Right. Yeah, because you would have all people of all different stages. And
absolutely.
Business that you would get a lot of ideas from and
yeah.
tips. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you say is the best resource that you've had to help you along the way? Would that be those support groups, or would it be anything else?
I think those support groups for sure, as well as I'm a reader. I read a lot of books. I read a lot of, like, not self-help books, but business books that translate to personal life. I think being a reader and being somebody that's interested in learning all the time, I think that has really carried me, because you can change quick and you can change the way you're doing things. If you read it and you learn about something new, you can try it and see if it works.
Yeah, good. So who has been your biggest inspiration throughout all of your business venture here?
I don't know if I really have one person that's inspired me overall. I have lots of people that have inspired me individually. Like, I have people that inspire me for marketing ideas, and I have creative people, and I have a really good group of people around me that if I need to be inspired in a different area, I can reach out to them or reach out to the group. I wouldn't say there's anybody specific that has been super inspiring.
Yeah. Well, that's
that doesn't sound very good, does it?
No, it's good, because I feel like those inspirations change and shift too as you grow, like depending on what you're looking for. The beautiful part about nowadays is you can go anywhere for it. You just go on the internet and you can find it. And
yeah,
there are some people who've had their one inspiration their whole life, and I'm not one of them, but no, I think that's fantastic, because not everybody is perfect at everything. You got to go where you need it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So who's been your hugest support?
My wife, of course. She's amazing. She just says yes, even sometimes when she should say no. And she just trusts that I know what I'm doing, or that I have the resources that I need to make it work. She sometimes thinks that I have the craziest, stupidest ideas, and why are you doing this? This makes no sense. And then when she sees the results, it's like, okay, I get it. But she never says anything. She never says no. She doesn't say stop. And my kids have been amazing. When we started the business, we had teenage kids in high school who, we restructured their lives by not having two solid incomes and investing a lot of our money in the business. It changed the way we traveled. It changed the way we lived. It changed disposable income, and they never complained at all. And when they had to step up and help out and work in the shop, or, work behind the scenes, they just did it. And it's really, really key as an entrepreneur to have that support. And I really value that.
That's such like you said, a key component of being able to achieve success and achieve your goals, because you need that behind you. And you mentioned your kids in the background, but I have seen them on the screen too.
Oh yes, they've all modeled. They've all worked in the shop.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's not their thing.
Yeah.
That's okay. But they all appreciate what it is that I'm doing.
Yeah. And they may not, it might not be their thing right now,
Yeah.
but who knows how it will, you know, shift and shape them for the future. They might decide their own entrepreneurial path and they'll be like, no, I remember these things my dad did. And then
Yeah.
it just clicks, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So for somebody who may want to be opening up a business, whether it be a clothing store or any kind of store, what advice could you give them? One piece of advice that you would want to give them?
Ooh, just spend a bit of time and learn some business. Like I see people out there that are in business and they're struggling, and it's hard because they just didn't take the time to understand what they were getting into. I feel like the general population over romanticizes business and business owners and what their lives actually look like. They think, it's long summers and great vacations and weekends off and driving nice cars. And it's not like that. It's hard. It's hard work. And eventually you can have all of that if you put the time in. Um, but spend some time and actually understand business. There's a really, really good business program it's available through Community Futures. It's available in Hinton, and it's called the Smart Start program. And I'm part of the Smart Start program. I've been a mentor for 2 years. So it's for people that are interested in starting their own business or that are already in business and are looking at growing their business. And it walks them through how to do a business plan, how to understand the numbers of your business, how to break down whether or not you should even be in business. And I think it's a 6-month program. Each student is assigned a mentor, which is what I do. And there's a structured program that you work through, and it really, really cements a foundation for starting your business. And the couple of people that I've worked with have had really, really great ideas. And even just 3-4 months into the program, they've completely shifted their ideas because they've realized that that wouldn't have worked. And good for them for spending a little bit of money to get into the program to figure that out before just diving into it.
I love that you kind of expanded on that because it's definitely a piece of advice that I hear very consistently. Like, make sure you have a business plan and know what you need ahead of time. But giving that little bit of feedback saying you can go to Community Futures, they do have a program. And for the 6-month investment and the financial investment versus spending all your time and money in this business and then it folds, or you're not happy, like it's so much, it's worth that bit of time. So yeah, I appreciate that. And then
Absolutely.
for you, did you take that program then before you started, or had you learned about it afterward?
I did not. I was approached last year to be a mentor. And I hesitantly said yes, because it seemed like I wasn't ready, but I was encouraged to do it because the organizers felt that I was a good match. And I absolutely loved it. And I really feel like I brought value. And when they asked me the second year again, I was thrilled because obviously it was seen that I brought value the first time. And I'm so enjoying dealing with the entrepreneurs that we're working with. They're smart. Some of them are younger, some of them are middle-aged, some of them are older. But it's so much fun just to hear the ideas and the different perspectives. I'm learning from them as much as they're learning from me, which is really fun.
Yeah, of course. Well, thanks for giving back, because
Yeah.
that, I mean, owning a business is a whole ball game in itself, but to give back and help others, that's fantastic. And for anybody watching, Community Futures is not strictly in Hinton. Like, there are Community Future offices all over the place.
Yes.
So is it provincial or federal? Like, are they across Canada or just?
I believe it's federal.
Okay, there you go. So anybody who's, I would say 90% of the interviews I do, they always say, get a business plan, put a business plan together. So there you go. Like, that's your step. And if you have questions, they'll have answers. They can help.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's the best piece of advice that I have heard, for sure. Thank you. So is there any next steps for Cold Creek Clothing, or
there's always next steps.
Yeah.
Yes, there's always new things on the horizon. So I'm a bit of a dreamer, so I always have a plan in the works. And Right now, we're currently working on, I've just recently, like within the last month and a half, kind of gotten my mind around being in business and being in survival mode, and that's ridiculous, that we have to get out of survival mode. Where in order to move forward and to continue to grow our business, we have to move ahead. And what does that look like? How do we do that? So I have started a couple of courses with my staff, and we are working towards becoming certified personal shoppers as well as image consultants, because when you come into our shop, we obviously want to sell you nice clothes, but we want you to look great and feel really, really good about yourself when you walk out of here. We're the store that when you put on a really nice, expensive shirt and it looks terrible on you, we're going to tell you, I don't think that's a good idea. And we want to have the certification and the qualifications behind us to actually say, you know what, I think let's try this. This is a better option for you. We don't just want to sell clothes. We want you to come in here and feel really good about yourself.
You're offering an experience.
We are totally moving to more service-based and more experience than
Awesome.
selling clothes. You can go and buy clothes anywhere. You can go to West Ed and buy all the clothes you want.
Yeah.
But are you going to get what we can offer here at Cold Creek? Probably not, because we're going to have fun doing it.
Yeah. Well, in most stores, when you go into West Ed Mall, they don't even acknowledge you anyway. So
no. So we're already a step ahead. Yeah. So the other thing we're working on doing is we're creating a back room, and we're turning it into a walk-in closet so that in the very near future, hopefully we can have our customers bring in their closets or pieces of their closets that they would like us to review and maybe reorganize and help them with new outfits from their existing closets, maybe add a couple pieces in to just do a refresh, maybe help you with your spring wardrobe or your fall wardrobe. Just to make it easy. We find a lot of customers come in and they don't know how to shop. They have an idea of what they like. They don't know what looks good on them. They've just been buying clothes for so long that, we want to change that. We want to educate our customers and help them so that everybody feels great.
I love that. That's a very cool shift.
It is.
Very, very
it is a really cool shift, and we're all pretty excited about it. So I'm in the back tonight before our call, and I was sanding the walls, getting ready for paint. And so it's on the horizon.
Putting some elbow grease back there. Well, it opens up your like expands your creativity and how far you can go with it, right? There's endless possibilities. It's just you have to be open to trying it out. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. So where can our viewers find you? So your store is physically in Hinton, Alberta.
We are in the Green Square.
Yeah. And you also have an online?
We have an online store, yes. We have probably 70% of our products on the online store. Sometimes the suppliers don't supply photos, and for us to do them, it's either very time consuming or very expensive. So we don't have all of our products on the online store. We are also on Facebook, of course, and we are on Instagram. We dabbled a little bit on TikTok, and it was fun, but we got locked out twice. They banned us, which was kind of fun, but I don't even know why, but whatever. It was fun. I like TikTok. I think it's very entertaining. And we were trying to take an entertainment route on that one, but it is also very time consuming.
Yeah.
And then we also, we have the online store. So we're for Facebook, we're Cold Creek Clothing. For Instagram, we are Cold Creek Clothing CA. And for our online store, we are coldcreekclothing.ca.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yes.
I will have all of those links below on the YouTube channel.
Excellent.
That's
perfect.
Awesome. Yeah. So just in closing, a fun little question, which you said that you love reading. So what would you say be one of your all-time favorite books and why?
Okay, so I'm not just going to give you one.
Good.
So the most impactful business book I've ever read is called Profit First, and it is all about running a profitable business, and setting your business up properly for profit, not just to make money, but to actually have profit and money in your pocket. And I've read it about a year and a half ago. I've fully implemented it this past November, and it has completely shifted my mindset in my business, which is absolutely amazing. I am seeing a difference already, and it's tough times right now, and it's not making a difference. So profit first. I can't remember who wrote it. Michael, somebody. Look it up. It's amazing. Share it with your accountant, because it changes your relationship with your accountant. You will have a much better business, a much better financial relationship. Absolutely amazing. The very, very first book that I read that changed my mindset about business was called Fish. Have you ever read Fish?
No, but I've heard of it. Now I
Fish,
really have to read it.
yes, it is a super simple read. You could probably blow through it in a couple hours. It is just about having fun at work, and how important it is and how engaging it is for you, your employees, and your customers to have fun. And the author of that one is Kenneth Blanchard. And I've read, I don't know how many of his books. They are so amazing. They're so inspirational in business and in life. Um, they're fun, easy reads. You take what you want out of them, and they're fun. I think that's what it comes down to. They're fun.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing them. Now I have to get them. I love reading. I love books. I will be a lifelong student forever.
Awesome.
Yeah. So Devlin, thank you so much for taking the time to be on my channel. I can't wait for everyone to watch this. And you guys, everybody check it out in Alberta. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for tuning in. And if you like what you see and you want to see more, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment below with a Canadian entrepreneur or a product that you would like to see as a spotlight on my channel. Peace.